The Racing Pod
on Off the Ball
with William Hill. Who you got? 18 plus. See gamblingcare.ie.
And you're welcome to episode 91 of the Racing Pod on Off the Ball. John Duggan with you here today. Not a regular show this week. We got a special guest, Johnny Murtagh. Before we talk to Johnny, we'll just introduce him properly, right, folks? So from County Meath, Johnny, a legendary flat jockey. The Epsom Derby, he won it 3 times. He won the Irish Derby 4 times. He won the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, the European Championship of Flat Racing. A career with over 100 Group 1 winners. Since moving into the training ranks, Johnny has trained the winner of the Irish Ledger, Royal Ascot winners, the winner of the Ebor Handicap at York. We're speaking to Johnny ahead of the Champions Festival of Flat Racing at Leopardstown and the Curragh next weekend. There are 17 races across both days, folks, including 6 Group 1s. Leopardstown hosts the Saturday card, the Curragh stage is the Sunday fixture, and there are €5 million in prize money on offer. Johnny, you're very welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Good, John. Very well. After that intro, I hope
You'll be okay, Johnny.
Live up to your billing.
You've been busy since this morning?
Yeah, busy this morning. Started at 5:30, got up, made sure everyone's okay. All the horses were fed this morning, 5:30. We had a big work morning. Friday morning is, all the horses go fast. So the grass was opened on the Curragh. We haven't had grass for a while. It's been such a dry summer. We've been working on the old Vic, which is a wood chip, or the Free Eagle, which is the sand and fibre. So it was like I was like a boy waiting for Christmas there this morning. The grass was opened. All the good horses were there, having their last spin before Champions Festival, and so it was a very exciting morning. Early morning, but very exciting.
How many horses do you have now in Kildare?
Probably have about 85 on the books. We have capacity for 72 in our yard. Conor Hoban looks after, down in Monasterevin, he looks after kind of the overflow yard. He breaks all the yearlings down there. So, good team in place. The 72 in my yard are ready to rock and roll. So every Friday we would have a lot. All the jockeys are in. We would have a lot of horses, going fast, and it's been pretty consistent this year. It's been going well.
So when you're riding horses over the years, you got to worry about winning. Now you're managing people. You're managing jockeys. You're managing stable staff. You're managing yourself. You're managing owners. How have you found the transition over the years?
Yeah, no. As a jockey, you're very lonely, very selfish, very. You just have to concentrate on one thing, and that's yourself. But as a trainer, as you say, you have to do a lot. But I love the team aspect of it. I always did like being part of a team. When I was stable jockey with John Ox, I felt that was our team. It was us against the world. When I went down to Ballydoyle, I felt the same. I said, I felt, I'm the striker. Just work the ball up to me. I'm going to stick it in the back of the net. And now I'm the kind of manager, so it's great. I used to question, did I love horses when I was riding them, because I got on them day to day, made them go as fast as they could, made them win. But now when you're with them every day, they're like your children. They're like part of your family. You get to know them. Every one of them are different. Trying to find what they like, what are their strengths, play to that, as you do with the lads. I've got 3 young apprentices there now at the moment, and trying to guide them and push them a little bit. And listen, last year we had Jamie Powell. He was champion apprentice. This year we've Patrick McGettigan. He's going for the championship. He's going well. And we have also got Rory Mulligan, who's going well, and Yudish Gadari. So, managing all them and trying to keep them upbeat, because it's a tough job when you're jockeying one of them off for a different lad, or when you want to claim 7 off and you put a different lad in front of one or the other. And then I've got Ben Cohen. I've got Ben Cohen.
He's your stable jockey.
He's stable jockey. He's the man. I think he's everything that it takes to be a top jockey. He just needs to start getting on some good horses now. We have some good horses, but he needs to be, riding consistently good horses in those big races. And I believe he has a chance. And in the last few months, we've got Seamus Heffernan has come on board.
The legend.
The legend. He is a legend. He was very good to me when I was in Ballydoyle. He was a great help to me. And I can see, he's in there twice a week, helping Ben, riding work. And then when the spares come along between him and Niall McCullough, we have a great team in there. And then, as you say, you move on to the owners. I've got great owners. Owners have been with me for a long time. You know, it's a hard job. And, like, if they just leave you, if they trust you enough to just leave you at it, I feel we can do the job. I know they have opinions and they'd like to go here and like to go there.
Could that lead to friction?
Sometimes it does, you know. Sometimes it does. I sometimes get a little bit chewy when I have a plan and then someone says, well, maybe we should do this, Johnny, or maybe we should do that. They are paying the bills. They usually get their way. You know, if they want to go somewhere, and I'm not quite sure about it, but listen, they're slowly leaving me. Like, it's hard. Like, I'm coming in, I'm being a champion jockey, but like, and then people saying no flat jockey has ever been a good trainer. So I'm kind of, that gets my back up straight away. So I'm on it now. You know, I'm on it now. So like they're letting you, you know, with their best horses, you know, they have some plans themselves. But I feel if you set the goalpost there at the start of the year, where we're going to go, the plans for the horses are here. You shouldn't move them. They shouldn't move. Everything along the way might not go to plan, but if the end goal is there, we nearly always get there. We nearly always get there in the end. But there is some, you know, you have to kind of explain what your thinking is through trying to get there. And sometimes they agree and sometimes they don't. Some owners have taken horses off me. And if I think the horse is not good enough and I don't see an end goal for them, because like it's, you know, it's $2,000 to $2,500 a month. So if I don't see a way out for them...
It's a mortgage. Or more than a mortgage.
You know, if I don't see a way out for them or where we're going to get to at the end of the year, I usually say maybe your horse is not good enough. And some people getting a little bit offended by that. Oh, you're getting too big for your boots, or oh, you don't want these bad horses anymore, or you don't want these low-grade horses anymore. But for me, you need to be winning on the weekends. You need to be building a profile for these horses that when you come to the end of the year, that you sell them on, that these people are getting paid well for them, or they're winning enough prize money. I love a horse winning enough prize money to pay his training fees and, you know, getting out at the end of the year, because they don't always get out like that.
Have you had to learn as well over the years, because you were such a top jockey, to the way you manage the jockeys, say, if they give a ride that you might not have been completely happy with? Are you still the same about that?
I was terrible at the start. I was terrible. At the start, I was telling them everything, what I thought. Then I went through a stage where someone says, Johnny, maybe just can't do it like, they don't do it like you. So then I used to tell them nothing. So now I've got Ben, and he just comes out and he tells me what he thinks is going to happen and what he's going to do. And usually he does. But when them stalls open, like, you have to be free. You have to be free. You can't be tied down. I just say the horse is fit. He's running the best, the perfect race, perfect distance. Ride him as those stalls open. The young lads I'm a little bit harder on, you know what I mean? I said to my parents, I'm judging you and Ben Cohen. And you can see them. I'm judging you and Ben. When I'm looking at you riding, I'm thinking Ben Cohen's riding him. If you can't do what Ben can do for me, you're not riding for me anymore. Now it's a big ask. You're asking 7-pound claimers to ride like what I said, one of the best jockeys in Europe. So it's a big ask for them. But if they don't get their standard up to that, they're not going to make it anyway. You know, so they are under a little bit of pressure. But at the end of the day, I know they're doing their best. They're working very hard in the yard for me, and I think they deserve chances. But to answer your question, I'm probably maybe getting a little bit easier, but I am hardening them.
Were you hard on yourself as a jockey? As a jockey, did you, when you're riding in the big races, get more nervous? Did you always have, as you say, that striker's mentality?
I was my own biggest critic. If I rode 3 winners at the Curragh and I got beaten on the last favourite, and someone said to me on the way home, oh, what about the last one? You should have won on that one. That's the guy I brought home. I didn't bring home the 3. The 3 winners didn't matter. It was the last fella I brought home. Why would he say that about me? I do great, and what could I have done better? You'd be watching the videos and you'd be rewinding it back, and you'd be going over and over, and you know, that's the guy I used to bring home, because like I was driven. Like I read a few sports books now of top sportsmen, Like, I was driven by fear. I can relate.
AP McCoy's very similar, wasn't he? AP McCoy, the same.
Yeah, and I read Andre Agassi's book.
Yeah,
And
Open.
I was just laughing to myself reading it.
You could identify.
100%. Driven by fear. I don't even want to be here. I have to be here. I don't know how many times I sat in the sauna of a Saturday before a big race at the Curragh, and I just go, when I get through today, that's it. I'm finishing. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of sweating. I'm sick of riding horses. I hate everything about it.
How long did that go on for?
It's gone on for a long time.
Okay.
And like, I didn't come from racing, and I kind of got good at it quick. Like, I rode my first horse when I came up to the apprentice school, 15, 16, champion apprentice after 2 years, second the apprentice championship. I had John Ox's job at 21. It was only 4 years riding. But I was so afraid that someone would tap you on the shoulder and say, "You're not born into this. This is not for you. You got lucky." And that's what drove me. So I was like, reading about it now when mental health and all that. Like, I was mental. There was no health about it. I was just driven mentality, scared that someone would either catch me or catch up with me. That's the way I was.
But when you started riding Derby winners, Sindar and Hyper Chaparral and Motivator and all these Royal Ascot championships, 5 of them, was it different then, or was it still the same?
No, still the same. It was only in let's say it was only in the last 15 years where I kind of accepted that you've done the work. You deserve to be here. Like, I'll never forget the first year I rode Sindar. He was fancy runner for the Derby. And I walked the track, and there's 60,000 people. Epsom is buzzing. The infield is buzzing. I walked the track, and I walked up the straight, and I says, "Johnny, this is where you want to be. This is what everything you said you wanted. You want to be here. Don't let it be your fault today that this horse, give this horse every chance to win." And he won. But that was the way I was thinking. I was like, I wanted to be here. I craved it so much. I waited so long for it. But then I just had to as you said, put the finishing touch to it, and thankfully I did.
Now, when the stall's open, are you in the zone then?
Yeah.
Does the fear go then?
Yeah.
Well,
that's gone.
Okay.
No, the fear is gone. The fear is gone as soon as you get up on the horse and you canter away. Like, the parade ring is sometimes a nervous place because everybody's nervous. So I can't be nervous there. Now, I am nervous inside. I've got that churning feeling, the butterflies, all that great feeling, which I thought was terrible, but it was really great. And it's probably what I miss now the most. that feeling. But my job was then keep everybody relaxed in here, Johnny. Let them know what's going to happen. Let them know your plan.
Can the horse feel your tension?
100%. So I would, on the big days, I would be telling myself, today is not for nothing special, Johnny. Today is just graft, relax. Bigger days, more relaxed. And even if you're not relaxed, you better act relaxed. And as soon as you get up on those horses and canter off to the start, it's just another race. You don't even think about it. It's just about then following the plan that you've thought over and over in your head. Again, I'm just reading sports people and, the psyche into people that they say they have to dream of what they do. I used to dream the night before. I used to go through it in my head so much. And people saying to me, "Oh, you're very good with the interviews, Johnny." But I'd have given that interview 10 times because I'd have dreamt about winning it and giving the interview afterwards and what happened and the way I was going to ride it. So, that visualization, they say, you have to see that before. I used to have that, and I was good at it. I was really good at reading the form, and when I'd open up a race, you'd nearly know what's going to happen because the good jockeys are riding the races all the time. You're riding against them lads, you know what they're going to do. Under pressure, you know what they're going to do. You know the guys you can squeeze a little bit. You know the guys that, you know what I mean? I could visualise that before the big event, and then all I had to do then was just I knew I was strong. I knew if I could bully them, I shouldn't say bully, but if you could bully them into I knew I'd be as strong as anybody in a finish if I could get them into the finish with me. That I believed I had the strength and the power to outbeat the rest of them.
It was 2000. I remember distinctly, Johnny, because I backed it. Remember Walter Swinburne before the race tipping it on ITV, or was it Channel 4? I think it was Channel 4 at the time. ITV have the rights now, but you had been in a great position. But is there a way to win the Derby at Epsom? It's a race that's been going since 1780. Now Aidan O'Brien has mastered it, but is there a way to win it?
Well, if you ever walk Epsom, it's unbelievable track. Like you would say how is the best race in the world run here. Like the start is so steep. You go up, you jump out. It's fiercely competitive. Everybody swings over to the right. The climb, like you can't win the Derby in the first half a mile, but you can lose it if you move there or you use too much energy up the hill. You're not going to get home. And then when you get to the top of the hill, there's a big run down, like from the 9 furlongs down to the straight, which is the 6 furlongs, like running down left-handed gradually. So they need to have the balance. They need to have, you need to be travelling. Can't be 3 wide. Can't be 3 wide. Like the box seat is, like I would say the box seat in Epsom is 4th position, 1 out, 1 back. Or if you're really brave, 3rd on the fence. And then when you turn in, there's a road. So you have to get over the road and just take a breath and then come with your run. And a lot of horses will shift in because the track is kind of cambered in. But if the good ones don't shift in because they've got the balance, they've got the stamina. And, that last little bit up the hill, that's what catches some of them. But don't lose it in the first half a mile and don't be 3 wide. And I won it 3 times and it was straightforward on 3 of them.
Is it exhilarating more than any other race when you win the Derby in that last furlong?
Listen, it is because it's the Derby and it's the first race I ever seen. I seen it as an 11-year-old. My uncle we were out with my uncles and he said, come in and see this horse, and I seen Shergar, Walter Swinburne. My only memory of it was ridden by a 19-year-old. I didn't know the colours, I didn't know the horse, and his tongue was hanging out and he just kept going further and further away. That was the first race I ever seen. I used to get great enjoyment out of winning any race. I just like winning.
But isn't it funny that it was the same colours, the late Aga Khan, that you won the Derby on then?
It was like things like that have happened in my life. Like things like that have happened in my life. When you look back on it, things like that, strange things like that. Yeah, it was unbelievable.
So High Chaparral wins a couple of years later. By that time, you had won another challenge against alcohol.
Yeah, well, I was young, I was a bit wild, I was partying. Well, I couldn't do it because I was getting up in the mornings. I was feeling a bit hungover. I had to go sweating and wasting, and you can't. The two just don't mix. So I was in St. Pat's at 21. I'd done 3 months in there, and
that's a dry out clinic.
Yeah. I met Dr. Murphy. So the first time I met him, I went into him and I sat down with him and I told him the pressure I was under and my weight was a problem and I had a big job, and he just said to me, just give up the drink, Johnny. And I was kind of thinking, did he not listen to what I said there? You know what I mean? And come back and see me in 2 weeks. So I never went back to see him. But I arrived back into St. Pat's and there he was waiting for me. He said, I thought I might see you again. So got great help in there. Great help in there. Kind of identified with the problem I had. But for the next 10 years, I was off the drink, but it was every now and again I felt I deserved a...
Maybe when the season's over or something like that.
Season's over, or you're away for a weekend, or...
I can handle this.
Yeah. And I had that kind of in me, I can handle not one layer, but I used to always wake up the next morning, guilt, remorse, the people you promised. I think that's what got me in the end. The morning after got me in the end. I couldn't hack it anymore. And 10 years later, I have a job in Dubai. I'm over in Dubai, meet all the Irish lads. Told them I now have a wife and kids, and hey, my career is going very well. Everything is going very well because, as I said before, I was so afraid that someone, we know what you're really like, we know what you're up to, you know, they'd tap you on the shoulder and say that I was even pushing harder then. Like the next morning after the night out, I'd be bang on it. I can't drop my guard here. I was just, again, driven by that fear that someone would find out or know what you were up to. And I just would get back on the treadmill and, you know, be driven again. Be driven again. So it came to a head. I was in Dubai. I met all the Irish lads and we went out for lunch, and lunch ended up to dinner, and dinner ended up the night before, and then we were on the next day, we went out, you know, and I was riding over there, and now I had my wife, 5 kids. I was going over to sort out the apartment for them, you know what I mean, to get everything ready when they came to Dubai. So one evening I just kind of came through, and I was living on the 14th floor of the Trade Centre apartments, and I looked over the balcony and I just thought, maybe they'd be better off without me. And I don't know what happened that night. I just fell down. I just said, please God help me. And as I said, that's 24 years ago, and my life is, you know, I went down. I woke up the next morning, I went down, I met a fella. He said, Jeannie, I thought you were off the drink. And I said, oh, I was. And I said, oh. And I came home to Ireland, and I remember I seen a fella walking across the road, Michael O'Brien, who I'd seen around. He was 20 years off the drink. So I went and had a chat with him and a cup of tea. And how do you stay off it, and what do you do? And he suggested a few things to me what I should do. And listen, I have a programme in my life. My life's a day at a time. I don't look too far ahead. And Everton left me then.
That was a turning point when you met Michael, yeah. And you talk about, Dubai there, the despair. Was that because this has got a control of me? It's got a grip of me?
See, where I've come from, everything I've done, I was able to, I'll beat it. And this just, Johnny, this is another just thing you have to beat. Whereas Michael just said, Johnny, you don't have to beat it, you just have to throw in the towel. No more fighting. Just accept it. This is what you are. You just can't drink. You know, one drink for one day, he says life will get better. No drink, no trouble. 24 years later,
you haven't looked back.
No drink, no trouble.
For social drinkers who might feel, you know what, I'm not sure if I'm a social drinker or if I've got a problem or not. Do you know where the line is? Is there a line when it starts affecting things? Is it?
Listen, if you're questioning it, if it's affecting your work or your, if it's affecting your work or your, like if drink is affecting your work or your family life, or like, I wasn't drinking for months on end. I'll give you a go. Right, so I win the derby on High Chaparral.
Yeah.
Greatest day of my life. You know what I mean? I wanted to win it. Everything is going. So you buy the champagne for the whole way room, and in the car coming home, I'm thinking, geez, I'm after winning the derby. And all those lads are able to drink the champagne that I'm after buying, and I can't do it. And I'm wondering, does drink have a hold of me? Like, you're after winning the biggest race of your life, your career. And you're thinking, I can't have a glass of champagne with the lads.
You wanted to fight that.
Yeah.
I want to have that glass so I can beat this. Or I'm fine, I'm normal.
I'm not. I said, I wanted to drink like a gentleman. Yeah. And then he said, some gentlemen can't drink, Johnny.
Yeah.
So he gave me loads of those little wise tips. And listen, but that's it. If you're questioning or worried about it, there's loads of people you can go to. There's loads of people who will give you help. And the same thing, like, it's all about your thinking. I was up there on the top, 14th floor. Why was I the lucky one? There's lots of people. You hear it all the time. That you know, they don't get the chance I got.
Yeah.
I had a wife, I had 5 kids, and now I believe I'm here. The reason I'm here is for good, not for bad. You're saved, Johnny. You were saved, but what are you going to do with it now? So that's why I'm very positive. I'm very upbeat around people, around everybody, and that's the way I live my life. It's about my thinking. If my thinking is clear, I can do anything. If my motive is good, I can do anything. All about when I'm going to do something, I check my motive. What's your motive, Johnny? What's really your motive? If my motive is good, I can do whatever I like. If your motive is a little bit off, So that's the way it is today. And as I said, it's a great life. It's a great life. I love it, and and that's one drink for one day, and your life will get better.
Dick Van Dyke is 99 now, the actor, right? So I go down the rabbit hole of YouTube, Johnny. I was watching a thing that he did a show with the Dick Cavett show in the 70s, talking about having issues with alcohol. And I'm going to quote it here. There are a lot of people dying from alcoholism because the rest of us are enabling them too, because there's a stigma about the disease. And for centuries, we've been putting the blame on the character of the addict. And it's not so. There's no degeneration or loose morals or character defects in the addict. It's a physical disease. And often an alcoholic might have a guilt or a shame, Johnny, over their behaviour. But for those who can't control it, it's a condition. So as a society, do we need to have more understanding of that? It's a condition.
I think we do. Like, listen, there's a lot of social drink. I'm not here to...
Yes,
listen,
to moralise.
I don't care what other people do. You know what I mean? But I'm only giving you my side of the story.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm after giving you that side of it, and I'm giving you this side of it. And I'd rather be this side of it.
Yeah.
This side is the place to be. It's happier. And now when you start first, I can never drink again, Johnny. You can never drink today. Just cut it down one day. And it's manageable then. And then the days come on to weeks, and the weeks come on to months, and the months come on to years. I'm 24 years now.
Yeah.
So, like, and I'm clear because I have a network of people around me that I can speak to.
A support network, yeah.
No matter what's going on. Like, and that's, like a lot of people, if you have a rock in your shoe and you're walking and you'll take it out. But if you have 5 little pebbles in your shoe, you'll just keep walking. It's not too bad. It's the same in your mind. Like the big stuff, you'll get out there and you'll talk to someone about it. But them little things that's annoying you, that guy that I brought home from the Curragh, why didn't you win on that one, Johnny? There's nothing wrong with him. It was me.
Yeah.
I was bringing him home, but, why would he say that about me? And, like, I was selfish. I was so wrapped up in myself. I was so wrapped up in myself, worried about, like, he's entitled to his opinion, Johnny. It's not gospel, but he's entitled to his opinion, and, like, that's the way I do it now. Like, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. I give it. And if I go out now to a party or to a night out, I'm there, I can be part of it. But when it gets to a stage where you hear the same story 3 or 4 times, I can just say, lads, see you in the morning.
I'm off to watch United. Yeah. It's great that you haven't looked back, and that man helped you, and I'm sure you've helped other people and spoken to other people in sport about, look, and I know you've said it before, you can't be consistent. You can't be consistent.
I wanted to be consistent, and I couldn't be consistent like that. But the last 15 years of my life, or my riding, I was consistent.
And now you're on training, consistent. Up every morning.
Consistent.
Enjoying it as well.
And and that's, like, I look at the great sports people, the greats rocked up every time. They were good all the time. Like, I do. Like, I want to be 8s and 9s all the time. I don't want to be 6s and 7s. 8s and 9s is a starting place for me. And when I get up in the morning, I get down on my knees and I say, I'm going to meet 20 people in the next half hour. How I am is maybe how they are going to be working for me for the next half an hour. So upbeat, positive, and that's and it gives them to be and give them, maybe they mightn't be positive, but that's their problem. Maybe they had a row with the missus on the way out, so they don't want to talk to you. But at least I'm starting the tone.
You're consistent.
That's it.
Yeah, in who you are every day. No, thank you for sharing that. The horses role in all this. Have you found being around horses therapeutic all your life?
I do. I think very much so. When I was around horses, I was at my best. I was always good at knowing when I sat on them how good they were, the good ones especially, how they felt, how they reacted, what they liked, what they didn't like. And when I was planning races beforehand, I wouldn't look too much at the opposition. I'd say I kind of, this is the way I'm going to play, or this is the way I'm going to go, and they can either adapt to it, the opposition, or fall into it behind me. But I would try and dominate races. Like, even if you're sitting second, you're still dominating the pace. You're still controlling races. Now, when you drop in behind and you're in behind, you kind of are a little bit. But horses react well to positivity. And as I said before, when you be nervous in those big days, you couldn't let on your nervous, because if the horse sensed that, maybe he'd get a bit nervous or be fretting a little bit. So if you're upbeat and positive, and if you know a plan, if you have a plan in your mind, the horse knows that. He knows, this is what we're doing. You're not changing it. And the same with training. My training routine is Monday we do this, Tuesday we do that, Wednesday we do this, Thursday we do that. Consistent, and horses like that as well. Now, some of them that when you see them, you have to kind of fall into their way.
How do you decipher a horse's personality, the different personalities?
When you're there with them every day, you get to see them. And I feed them there at night at 9:30 every night. So you walk out. It's amazing. You go out at the same time. They're standing in the same place. They do the same thing. Someone will walk up to you. Someone will walk away from you. It's unbelievable. The way they are, that they, and then if they don't, if you said, Jeannie, was he okay, lad? Was he okay there tonight? Or, if they don't do what you think every night. But horses have been my life. I've been very lucky. Like, we had no involvement in horses. My dad was a builder. My mum was a housewife. Racing has given me.
You were a boxer when you were a young lad.
I was into all sports, really.
Yeah,
I was playing football. I was playing basketball. I was boxing. I was just active. I was active. I love all sports, and I still do. I watch all sports now. My wife is sick of watching Sky Sports.
I'm sure you become friends with people, and like Alex Ferguson, you rode for example, as a United fan. I'm sure that was a thrill.
Yeah, no, that was a big thrill. Rocket Gibraltar winning the Guineas. Ferguson led him in. I got to know him. He would still ring me every now and again.
What did you learn about him as a person, but also as a sporting legend?
Well, what I learned about him was I rang up when I started training. I said, you had all these young lads in when you were managing Man United. How did you manage them? Hard but fair. That's what I do. I'm hard on them, but I'd like to think I'm fair. I give them all a shot, and it's up to you to take it now. But he reminds me of my father-in-law, Babs Keaton. They're just so.
Orla's father.
Yeah, they're just so alike. They don't mess about. They have a plan, stick to the plan. Like, it's all about hard work and playing for the shirt. And this is what it means to play for Tipperary, or this is what it means to play for Man United. And you should. Now, I don't know if it works nowadays. Young lads maybe nowadays are a little bit different. But if it still comes down to it, to the crunch, you have to have a bit of heart, a bit of grit. And, hard work will win it.
Babs must have enjoyed the summer then.
He did great. Listen, he went from thinking, we might get to the semi-final. When he looked at the draw, He said, if we could get to the semi-final. But I think after the semi-final, he thought they had a shot against Cork. He just says, when Cork play tip, it doesn't matter who's favourite. That's a 50-50 game. And whoever's up for it on the day usually wins. And it's usually the outsiders on the day because they're so up for it. That kind of way. But there was a big mad scramble for tickets, and I knew my daughter Grace wanted to go, and of course Orla wanted to go, and so they all went up and they parked near Croke Park. Babs knew someone parked near Croke Park, but they got great kick out of him because when he got out of the car, the Cork supporters wanted selfies with him and the Tip supporters wanted selfies with him. So they were saying, geez, Dad, even the Cork supporters wanted pictures with Babs and that. But listen, that's what the GA does. The GA has got that,
And you're coaching young teams, were you recently?
I was, yeah. I mean, I was coaching. I was coaching my daughters there for a while. They were in Milltown. They played for Milltown. Two of them were on the Kildare team that won the intermediate. That was one of the great days, I'd say, outside racing, because as a young lad growing up in Meath, Croke Park was the Mecca. If we got the Sunday to see Meath playing in Croke Park.
Sean Boylan.
Well, it was before that even, you know what I mean?
But they were losing.
Yeah. But I always dreamt of playing for Meath, walking out playing in Croke Park. But now my daughter's walking out in Croke Park, playing and winning the All-Ireland. It was one of those days, as I said, you feel it in your heart. When your children are doing something that you want to do, you're never going to do it. It was to see the two of them walk up the steps of Croke Park, pick up the trophy. I was managing him there for a while. Got to a few finals, but I'm a bit like Jose Mourinho or them lads. I only get 2 years out of it, because only two. Pep, you only get 2 years out of them
A
lads.
quick burst of success, and then you're gone.
If you don't make it in 2 years, they're sick of listening to you. But listen, again, I check my motives before I do it, and my motives is to push them a little bit, tell them what it's like to be a. I would say be like a top sportsman. They don't all want it. My wife said to me, Johnny, maybe some of them just want to go down and play with their friends. Yeah, but we should be winning as well, you know. So I have to kind of check myself on that as well. I'll be pushing them on and hoping to do all these things. But I love it, especially like when you're in racing all the time, you just don't think anything else, only racing. You're just like I'm going home, I'm watching racing on telly, I'm training horses in the morning. So I do find, like, especially January, February, March, going in and getting. I'm actually went with the towers, round towers in Kildare now. Glenn Ryan, I was talking to him during the winter, and I go, I'm doing nothing. He says, come in and we'll. So I'm with Glenn Ryan and the lads with the round towers minors at the moment, and I'm really enjoying. That's the first time I've took over kind of a lads team. It was always there with my daughters and the girls team. So the lads are, they're looking at me shaking their head half the time. You know what I mean? But it's as I said, I'm only doing it to try and give them a boost, give them a help, and push them a little bit.
A bit of sporting insights. You talk about greats there. Ryan Moore, I just think he is different gravy to everybody else at the moment. Now he's got a broken leg, so he's out for a while. But when you see Ryan, what is it about Ryan that stands apart to you?
Well, I was lucky that I grew up, and my main, the main people I rode against was Mick Kinnan, Christy Roach. Like, two of the best all time. And I learned a lot from them. Like, Mick Kinnan was as good on a Monday in Roscommon as he was King George Day. There was no backward step. He was just unreal. Christy Roach, tactics, brilliant. Knew what everything was happening, would set up races for himself, always about himself to win. He was unbelievable at the tactics and of the reading of races. So I grew up with them. So every jockey I'm comparing now, I'm comparing to them. Ryan Moore would be like Pat Smullen was there then. He came along. Pat was, he was my main rival for years, and he just took over from Mick Kinnan. He went there down with Weld. There was no love lost between us. Like, we were like, I wanted to be the main man in the weigh room, and he wanted to be the main man in the ring. There was only going to be one main man in the weigh room. So for years we were kind of at loggerheads. But that's just the way it is. Like, the weigh room is a special place that you go in, you sit beside them, they're your best mates. But as soon as the race starts, like, they're the enemy. Like, that's the way I would have it anyway. Like, maybe they all don't like that. But now you have Ryan Moore. Ryan Moore comes along. He's just totally dedicated to riding horses. He's very smart. He's intelligent. He's strong, and now he's with the best team in the world as well. So he's cool. Like, sometimes he doesn't win those Group 1s like that. If that was me, like, he mightn't get out. He might get boxed in. He mightn't get out, and he might be affecting him a little bit. He might get a little bit upset, but he never seems to show. Whereas I'd be, oh jeez, got away, one that got away. As again, that's the one that got away, Johnny, instead of the 3 year after winning. He's just cool. He's just a perfect jockey. Good size, and a really, really nice lad. But you have to remember, Tony Mackay is his idol. So he kind of goes around a bit like Tony Mackay. Doesn't talk to anybody, just grouchy, which he's not. He's a lovely, lovely young fella.
When he's at work?
When he's at work, he's got this mentality. Yeah. I'm here. This is what I'm supposed to do. Lads want to interview him. Lester Pickett never do any interviews. So he said, why should I? Let me ride and do the talking. And it does usually do the talking. But, as you said, he's winning races he shouldn't win. And that's how you...
Delacroix's example this year, the Eclipse. You don't think so?
I would say more City of Troy in York. The ride he gave him...
That was last year, yeah.
And the ride he gave him... No, the ride he gave last year. Okay, he was a good horse, but he just controlled the race from the front. York, got the fractions perfect, kicked at the right time, nicked the length. It was a great ride. Round York especially, it's Delacroix, he gave him a good ride, but he wasn't going.
See, this is why you're a jockey and I'm not, so it's fascinating just to give the insight.
He wasn't going. You know, he got shuffled back. He wasn't travelling really well. He couldn't do anything about it. I think Buick might have a bit too soon. Buick moved too soon, and when his horse got to the front, he kind of stopped.
Right.
And it gave him another shot at it. Now, he was good, he got up, but...
Probably looked more better visually than...
Yeah. And it always does when you ride those ones that come from the back and you just get up. Yeah. But you go back to City of Troy in York. From the front, fractions right, kicked at the right time.
Fractions are key, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. You have to know what speed you're going. Like I always say to the lads, you have to run the last 2 furlongs. Like I knew when I was riding those good horses, if I ran the last 2 furlongs, like 11:11, nothing's going to come from the back.
What does 11 mean?
Like 11 seconds a furlong.
Okay.
Like most horses go like there's like 11 seconds is a good furlong.
You count it in your head then, do you?
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't be, but they just seem to come natural. Like when you're on it, it just seems to you're always trying to save the last 2 furlongs are my best. Like if you're kick early and the last furlong like is a 13-second furlong, well, the guys coming from behind you, they can run 12, they're going to get you. But you have to kind of, I always say, try and get the last 2 furlongs your best, and it makes it hard for the horses that are held up the back to catch you.
Aidan O'Brien does all the ammunition, but when you went down there, was it intimidating at all to be in Ballydoyle, or is it just another job with another trainer? I mean, because they are the big beasts, you know?
Listen, when I was ready for the job because I thought I was going to get the job a couple of years earlier, and Jamie Spencer got called up. So Jamie lasted a year, and he went back to England. So now Aidan rang me, he says, Johnny, it's down to 2. He says, you and Kieran Fallon. And I thought, well, I'll get it this time. So Kieran Fallon got it. So I was consigned to the fact that you're not going to get the Ballydoyle, Johnny. You're after being on the list twice. You're not going to get it. So then Kieran is not coming back, and I got the call. So I was ready. I was ready for it. Like I was kind of saying to myself, right, Johnny, you're after talking a great game. This is your chance. So 2008, I went down. I remember walking into the barn the first day. Duke of Marmalade, Henry the Navigator, Yates, and then I got into the system with Aidan riding work and that, and the way everything is run, like there's no stone left unturned. The horses rock up in peak condition. I won the first race, the first Group 1, which was the Gannet on Duke of Marmalade. Rock on to the English Guineas. Henry the Navigator gets up and beats New Approach, and I'm riding all the horses.
You're on the horse.
I'm riding all the horses' work. Like I rode 24 Group 1s that year.
Right.
For the Coolmore team, Coolmore Ballydoyle team. So, but it was just the next weekend was getting bigger and we had better horses. I remember going to Ascot and John Magner was over watching all the horses do their last piece of work for Ascot, and I think I rode Duke of Marmalade first. Rode him work, won't be beaten. And then I rode Henry the Navigator. He's a certainty Aidan. He's improved since the Curragh. Yates, Aidan, he's spot on. And and Aidan turns around to the girl doing the comments. Jenny, word for word now what Johnny's putting down, because, you know. And John Magner turns around and he goes, we are going to Royal Ascot, Johnny. I said, boss, we're going to win Everton.
And did you?
We won Everton that year.
Right.
We won Everton. Like, I think we won 4 Group 1s, we won 6 races. But they were the ammunition we had. So I never felt under pressure. I felt I deserved to be there. And after the first couple of winners, the big ones, I was into the system. I was riding all the horses' work. I knew what they liked. I used to come out and, you know, you could tell them what's going to happen. What do you think is going to happen? And like I used to say to Aidan, like, we're on the best horses. I said, just, you know, we need a good pace in front. I'll sit in the first 3. If I get upside somebody 2 down, I'm going to win. Your horse are fit. I'm the strongest jockey. We're going to win Everton. And we won 24 that year.
He's one of our 400 Group 1s. What does the public not see about Aidan? Or is it all there in front of you?
Listen, Aidan, let's just see what you want to see. You know what I mean? He's deeply driven. He's deeply driven. He has a massive team around him there. He's the general, like he's the general. He gets jobs done. You do what you know what I mean. You're in there. You get it done. And if you don't, he'll get someone who will get it done. You know, that kind of way.
Okay.
So that's Aidan. He's, you know, but he was very good to me. You know what I mean? When Aidan is when you're riding for Aidan and he's telling you everything about the horses and you're riding them and you know everything about them, I felt we were unbeatable. The last year, Joseph was coming along and he said to me, I'd like Joseph to be champion apprentice. And I says, no problem, Aidan. But I says, you know, I'd like to be champion jockey as well, you know. So, yeah, but you concentrate on the Group 1s, Johnny. You concentrate on the Group 1s. So, end of the year, champion owner, Derek Smith. Champion trainer, Aidan O'Brien. Champion apprentice, Joseph O'Brien. Champion jockey, Pat Smullen. Like, I wanted a lot. And I was on a rolling contract. And I said, it can't get better. It can't get any better. But I wanted a lot. And I want to be Haaland. I don't want two strikers. I want a 10 giving me the ball to put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, okay.
But listen, I had 3 unbelievable years there, which I loved. And when I look back on my career, I rode 51 Group 1 winners for the Coolmore team.
Brilliant. 51.
So it was a brilliant. But as I said, you know, when Aidan's horses rock up, they are just fit, ready to go, and they take some whacking.
Let's look ahead to Champion Festival here at Leopardstown in the Curragh next weekend then, Johnny. So you got a horse at the moment, Zaran. He's entered in the Champion Stakes at Leopardstown, the Group 1 on Saturday. He could be a bit special. Yeah, no, he's coming along well. He worked this morning. Everything went well. He done his last series pit this morning with his lead horse. We think he's improving, but he has to improve. He ran very well first time out. He's a very quiet horse that you wouldn't know he's in the yard at home. And we thought he'd run well first time out, but he ran really well. He just got beaten. Ben says, I was a bit unlucky, I should have won. I said, not to worry, we'll have another go in a maiden. So he went down to Cork, he won his maiden really, really impressively. Went to Leopardstown, won a listed race over, I think it was 1.5 miles he won a listed race. 1.5 miles, I think. And we sent him to Ascot for the King Edward. And you know, I was standing at the big screen. He was just about to run into the stalls, and I just thought, I think I'm going to have a winner in Royal Ascot. I think I'm going to for His Highness the Aga Khan. And he ran a great race. He just got touched off by horse of Rafe Beckett's, who was unbeaten. He was unbeaten. So ground was plenty quick enough that day for him. So we went back. We decided we'd give him a break and run him in the Royal Whip. So the Royal Whip was kind of a prep. Is he good enough over 1.25 miles? And could he be a horse for the Irish champion? So he won that well. He got a rating of 111 after the race. He has to improve 10 pounds. But he's a horse, I feel, there's a bit left in him. You won't see it in the mornings, so he has to rock up in Leopardstown, and it'll be a fair test. You know, it's one of my favourite races. It's a great race, great history.
Great history. I used to love riding in it, and now I love watching it. It's one of those races like of the world you would love to have on your CV. It's kind of got that thing. It's the Irish Champion Stakes is a big one.
You rode the winner in the 90s, I think.
I did, yeah. I rode a horse for His Highness Aga Khan, Timorita.
Yeah.
Rode a lot of horses in it that didn't win, but it's a tough race to win. But it's one of those ones you would, you know, and as a trainer, you know, we need to be winning those big races now. You know, we're doing well.
That's the next level.
Yeah, we're doing well. We're third in the table on winners. We've 40 winners on winners wise. We're about 5th on prize money. So we need to be getting these on the weekends, winning these Group 1s to get to the next level.
Yeah.
I think we're on the way, but you have to do it, and people have to see you doing it.
Who's the one to beat? Delacroix running, probably Shin Emperor's coming over from Japan again.
Yeah, no, it's Delacroix is probably the one. You know, Aidan was kind of bullish about him. I watched his press morning
stable tour
down there recently, and he said like that he was wanting John Gosden to come over again with Omnis Man, but he's kind of swerved that. So but we still have Delacroix, Shin Emperor. Amlas.
Old Burrows horse.
He's a good horse. Yeah. If the rain comes, he's a very good horse.
Yeah.
White Birch is there.
Yeah.
So listen, we're under no illusion that it's going to be a tough race, but we just feel we're coming in there a little bit under the radar, but we need a big improvement. But I feel he's ready for it.
See the Stars has won this fantastic Light Beat Galileo. Dylan Thomas has won it. What I'm thinking about great horses and great flat horses, you have the American horses like Seabiscuit and Secretariat, Johnny, and then you've got Frankel. But I see the Stars right there up for you at the top.
Yeah, well, we had Frankel there, and I remember riding in Frankel's Guineas. I rode in the Guineas when he went. Remember, he blitzed off in front.
Yeah.
And like at halfway, you're looking up, and there's this. I thought it was the pacemaker first. I said, "Geez, his pacemaker is going fast." It was just over halfway. The speed he went, the way he was able to maintain it, he was unbelievable. But then See the Stars came along the next year. Like these horses, like most horses, the good horses will get to a rating of 126, 128, maybe 130. But Frankel and See the Stars are up around 138, 140. So they're like 10 pounds better than the great horses we've had. So See the Stars, I raced against them. We had Rip Van Winkle, we had Master Craftsman, we had Fame and Glory. We had lots of great horses that raced against them every time he ran. And we thought, we'll get him today, we'll get him today. But he just kept pulling it out. But the big thing, he was trained by John Ox, genius with those good horses, and he was ridden by Mick Kinane, who was able to win those big races without going to the well. He was winning a neck, he was winning half a length. And now the horse was pulling up when he got there, but Kinane was timing it that he never got a grueler, that when he rocked up on Arc Day, like sometimes when you rock up on Arc Day after having a hard season like that, you can't do it. The French horses are prepared for the Arc. They had a break, they're ready for you over there. But for him to rock up on that day, Jim McGrath said, I remember his commentary, he's going to have to be a great. Yeah. And then when he hit the front, he says,
horse of a lifetime.
I reckon he is, horse of a lifetime.
Yeah.
So, he is in that bracket. And I suppose what he's doing now as a stallion. Because, I don't know what makes a great stallion. I rode great horses down through the years. But when they go back to the stallion barn, they're starting all over again. And some of them just, I don't know, they just can't transmit it over to their young stock. But See the Stars seems to be able to do that. And Frankel, I suppose. He's, and Galileo. Galileo was, he was the one that could produce.
He was the new
champions.
saddler as well, yeah. So the Ledger, you've won the Sonny Boy Liston, you won the Classic, I think during COVID, Johnny. And then we have maybe Illinois and Jan Brogel will run in this next week.
Yeah, I think Aidan O'Brien's 3-year-olds, his 3-year-old stayers are good. Illinois looks like the one that will go there. The Ledger is a little bit underestimated at times. There's great stayers win the Irish St. Ledger. It's a great race on that weekend. But it'll be interesting to see what rocks up in it, because Aidan is strong. Illinois, Jan Brogel, I'm not a believer in him. I think Illinois would take care of him.
Would you like to see changes to the St. Ledger?
I'm always saying that the Irish St. Ledger would be a great race in Leopardstown, because the start would be right there at the winning post. So the whole, I rode in Japan Cup. The start of the Japan Cup is right in front of the stands. So you canter back and you're walking around. You feel like a gladiator. There's 100,000 people. It's real enclosed. It's a great mile and 6 track, Leopardstown. Oh, you can't do this. You can't change the track. During COVID, we could do anything. We could change. We could have race meetings put on in a week. And now all of a sudden, you can't change that. And we should be able to change it more. And especially if it's not working. I feel the Irish St. Ledger, and I've said it to a lot of people, would be change it for 3 years, see how it is.
Yeah.
Not change it forever. Change it for 3 years, but I think the start of the Irish St. Ledger in front of the stands in Leopardstown would create a great atmosphere. People would be able to get close to it. You'd see the horses twice instead of looking across the Curragh half a mile away and then they're coming around just past you. Because sometimes that's what happens. Racing happens so quick, you miss it. And that's, we need to attract new audiences. We need to be thinking of doing different things to get them there, because, there's a lot happening in the world.
A lot of sport.
There's a lot of sport.
Competition,
yeah, and especially on the summer.
Yeah. So we have, say, Punchestown had a record crowd for the 5 days this year, over 136,000. On the Friday, over 42,000. The Derby only had over 11,000. Look, I feel the romance has gone out of the jumps game. I mean, you can't have a Dunolly or Limestone lad story for me anymore. It's big owners, it's business. the flat has always been business and breeding and that. But I found Royal Ascot very interesting, very competitive. I found Goodwood competitive. Some of the Curragh group races could be fascinating, especially the 2-year-old races. But I do think we probably need to get more people flat racing. Is there anything we can do to get more people racing?
Yeah, I live at the Curragh, and it's soul destroying going up to the Curragh and you stand in the stands and look around, there's nobody there. But like, we have to do something. Whether it's like, it's dear to go to the Curragh, €25. I shouldn't say it seems to have lost its soul a bit. You know, it used to be you come out of the Curragh, you walk down there, the champagne bar was there on the left, everybody was there, you knew where everybody was. The new Curragh is so big and open, you don't know where anybody is. But how are we going to get them back?
I don't know, but it just feels like the package around racing has to be better for all Irish tracks.
Yeah, and this 35 minutes between racing.
Yeah.
I'd nearly rather 25 minutes.
Yeah.
You can't have people waiting 35 minutes anymore. They don't want to wait. They don't want to wait that long. They don't want to wait 2 minutes now. They're on the phone, they're paying this. You know, everything's buzzing around, and we're going 35 minutes for the whirlpool. The whirlpool's important, but we need to have the people coming racing as well. I'd have it 25 minutes. I'd condense everything. I'd make it a bit more sharper. Oh, you can't do that to be stewards' inquiries. If there's a steward inquiry that you can't manage, do what they do in Hong Kong. After the last, we'll deal with this one. It's a bit complicated. We'll deal with it after the last. So you're in Hong Kong, you hit a bit of interference. Johnny, we'll need you after the last. And they'll go through the race then. You know, it has to be done in, like, because it's hard to get it done in that time, but I think we need to speed it up.
So, Johnny, we're coming to the end of the chat. What else do you have apart from Zavran that's going for the Champions Festival that you're looking forward to running?
Yeah, I've got a good few runners. We have a lot of horses there over the couple of days. I try and run a lot of my horses that weekend because that's where we want to be. That's where I want my owners to want to be. We've got Alakazi runs in the Salon Away Stakes. He's another horse of the Aga Cans, as long as with Chicago Critic. They were second and third in a Group 3 or a listed race there at Leopardstown a couple of weeks ago, the Desmond Stakes, maybe a Group 3. So they are going for the Salon Away. I really like them. We have I think we have 3 or 4 in the handicap. Kieran Kilkenny's horse, One More Dance. You know, Kieran Kilkenny, the Dublin
footballer.
Yeah, he just comes down every now and again. He's mad into the horses.
Right, didn't know that.
How are you training them?
The Gaeilgeoir.
Yeah, how are you training them? How much are they doing?
Hope he's not putting pressure on you now as a meat man.
What are they eating them? I'm the only mean man. I was the only mean man to get Dublin to the final there. She's after winning 4 races this year. She's on there, Kieran and some of his mates up there around Castleknock. Great crack, really enjoying it now they are. Now, you would be if they're after winning 4 races this year. So she's gone up in the rates. One More Dance, she's called. She runs in the last race on Saturday
at Leopardstown.
So if everybody is on the back foot and they want to get out, maybe she's the one.
She might be in each way.
The get out stakes.
The get out stakes, Johnny. You're great company as always. We really appreciate you coming in, Johnny Murtagh. What's the future for you in the game of racing, in the game of life? Just keep doing what you're doing, I expect.
Listen, consistent. Keep the consistency going. You know, be who you are. And as I said, I love what I'm doing now. I'm going to be a better trainer than I was a jockey. You know, I said, I'm going to be a better trainer than I am jockey. I know that. That's the way I'm thinking now. So we just need, you know, we're attracting bigger owners and better owners. But I want to be competing on the Champions Festival on a regular basis with top horses running in top races. I've seen what the best trainers in the world do, and I believe I have the team around me to do it.
Best of luck at the Leopardstown and the Curragh Champions Festival, Johnny. You're a gentleman. Thanks so much for coming in and speaking to the Racing Pod.
Thank you.
The Racing Pod
on Off the Ball
with William Hill. Who you got? 18 plus. See gamblingcare.ie.